Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, I really want to thank Mel Science for their sponsorship of TechTime Radio. Do you know what Mel Science is? A subscription service that offers monthly science boxes that combine hands-on experiences with VR, virtual reality, and of course, AR, augmented reality technology to engage kids in studying science.
Yeah, man. They send you monthly science boxes that are STEM related.
What does STEM mean, sir?
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. These projects that they send you are not only super fun, but they're also educational. They come with very clear instructions that your kids can easily follow them along because there's pictures and everything. Each set has a different theme and are catered to different age groups. So one is for 5+, but there's also others like Mel Physics for 8+, or Mel Chemistry for 10+.
Wow. They strive to make serious science accessible, interesting, and cool.
It's also cool for adults. What I love about them is that each box comes with everything you need for the project. So every time you do one of these sets, you learn so much from the problem-solving skills to science discovery.
Guess what? We have a promo code. You can use TECH, and it'll give you a 60% discount for the first month for any of their subscriptions. Also, the offer is limited for this month, so make sure before the end of January, going and visiting melscience.com. Use your promo code TECH to receive 60% discount for the first month on any of these great STEM-related science projects. That's melscience.com. Use your promo code TECH to receive 60% discount for the first month.
Yeah, man, it's really cool.
This is Nathan Mumm and Micro Day from Tech Time with Nathan Mumm on Kixie AM 880.
Hey, Nathan, are you enjoying broadcasting on Kixie 880 AM?
I sure am, Mike. I love being a part of the new Kixie 880 AM local channels from 3 to 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, where you get the best technology news without having to geek out. Don't miss the show because you're always going to get the most up-to-date technology information. Listen to us live Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. on Kixie 880 AM.
I'll be there with bells on.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever wanted to give the gift of history?
I always want to give the gift of history.
All right. Well, guess what? You can journey through the annals of time with curated letters from George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Edison, and more, delivered by mail to your mailbox each and every week.
That sounds awesome.
Yes. Guess what? Give the gift of historical letters to loved ones. Historical gift packs are a journey through history's most significant moments, from the formation letters of the founding fathers at the birth of the United States to letters that changed the course of World War II. At historicmail.com, you can visit historicmail.com. This is the perfect gift for a history buff, delivered right to their doorstep.
Who can I get a letter from?
You get a letter from many different historical individuals, including Henry Ford, George Washington, and journeys throughout all of our great American history. You can get yourself a regular priced subscription for 10 weeks, or 10 letters being sent out to you for the regular price of $59.99.
What kind of letters are they?
These letters are actual reproductions of the real letters or messages that are written by historical figures. They always include a few paragraphs of contact information to shed some light on the fascinating historical context behind the correspondence as well. Make sure to visit historicmail.com to learn more information.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the common, everyday person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our show. We're live streaming, doing our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, and Facebook. We encourage you to watch us live at techtimeradio.com to keep up with all of our technology information, plus see how we rate our whiskey pick of the day. If you're a Twitter fan, you can go online and hashtag us at TechTime Radio. So that's hashtag, or they used to call it the pound sign, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we grew up with.
Yeah, the pound sign, TechTime Radio, and we'll do our best to answer your tweets on the air and after the show. Mike and I have been providing a segmented technology radio show for over 2 years now with a funny spin. Visit techtimeradio.com and make sure you say hi and sign up for our newsletter, or subscribe to the best technical information, or be part of the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us. Tech Time is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by Nathan Mumm, myself, a multi-business executive who's worked 10 years at Microsoft and 5 years at Vulcanic in the Seattle area. I'm a technologist with over 30 years of expertise, a keynote speaker on technology subjects from security to blockchain and everything in between.
Oh, yeah.
My co-host, Mike Gorday, is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. He's a human solutions consultant and coach living in the Seattle area with an MA degree. He combines his continued education in human behavior with his 20-plus years career helping clients navigate the rocky roads of obtaining goals and changing their line. Mike keeps me from geeking out and providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends that come together from different backgrounds to bring the best technology show possible each week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We welcome you to join one of these groups as we start our show, Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Okay, Odie, let's get ready to start the show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on the show, Microsoft is purchasing Activision Blizzard. Breaking news. We're going to be talking about that. How does this shape Microsoft's metaverse? Twitter expands features allowing users to flag misleading tweets, and Russia fines Google for not deleting banned content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole big deal.
We got a bunch of Russia stuff going on, and Russia is like
Russia's the king of news today.
Yeah, they say, you know what, bad boy, but we're not maybe going to do anything about it. Well, we're just going to say that you're a bad boy. We'll be talking that in our Protect Yourself today, specifically regarding the gang Revil. So we'll be talking about that, the cyber gang that has been creating terror for the last 3 years on the cyber front. So we'll be talking about that. Then, of course, we have This Week in Technology along with Protect Yourself today, as we're talking about stories you didn't know, and of course our pick of the day, whiskey tasting. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now let's start our show with our loaded question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost.
Week?
Loaded question of the week. Well, it's for a week, right?
You said reek.
Oh, did I say reek? Sorry. I was just smelling something.
I guess.
From my co-host. No, just talking. Question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. All right, Mike and Odie, here you can listen to this one. We're going to have you start joining our questions coming up. Okay, you ready to go? She's going to be ready to go.
Boy, here. She looks really excited.
I know, she's very excited.
She's very excited.
All right. If you had the power to cure one disease, what would you cure? Mike, you're up first.
Life.
Cure life? How do you cure life?
I don't know. I think if we were talking about what we normally think is diseases, I think Alzheimer's would be my pick.
You know, my mom's going through that, so that is a tough disease to go through, right?
Well,
I mean, you go from recognizing people to not recognizing people to everything in between.
Yeah.
All right, Odie, the question is for you.
I'd love to cure cancer, specifically brain cancer.
Specifically brain cancer.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, the cancer would have been a great one to say too. And you know what I'm going to say?
Are you taking her side?
Well, I'm going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to say COVID-19. This has been 2.5 years of crap.
That's a cop out.
What are you talking about? This has just been.
That's the obvious choice.
That's the obvious choice.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I stick with the obvious items. All right. Well, that was
obvious.
All right. Well, that was brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Make sure you visit elderberry-boost.com to get your elderberry supplements.
Boost.
That's right. All right, Mike. We're going to have our whiskey tasting during the commercials. We'll select the whiskey, and we'll get to do a 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up pick of the day, kind of Cisco and Ebert style. We picked that. And now we have been told that our palate necessarily isn't a pro palate for whiskey. We just kind of like whiskey if it's good, and we would drink it. It gets a thumbs up, right?
Yeah, that's. I'm not an aficionado in the upper echelons of whiskey tasting. If it tastes good to me, I like it. I give it a thumbs up, and I will drink it. If I don't like it,
you give it a thumbs down.
Give it a thumbs down.
That's exactly. So it doesn't have to. It can be
it's purely hedonistic on my part.
And it's really the matter of the day, the matter of the mood. And you know what? If we had a bad day, any whiskey may get a thumbs up just for the taste of it, right?
I think you got called. What would they call you? A softie?
Yeah.
What did you call? No.
Or cheapo too.
You're a cheapo softie?
Yeah, I just like all the whiskey. So I mean, it's got to be a pretty bad whiskey for me to turn it down. Let me just put it that way.
But you don't like.
Well, I don't have a very high palate. But we'll be talking about that too. All right, let's get our episode.
I don't have a refined taste.
I don't have a refined taste.
Although I do tend to pick the really good ones over
you. You do. That is. You have a better taste for that. That's correct. All right, now let's get our episode started with our first segment. This is called our top stories in the first 5 minutes. This brings you the top technology stories everyone will be talking about for weeks to come within the first 5 minutes of the show. Let's start this off now.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, welcome to Top Stories in the First 5 Minutes. Story number 1, Microsoft to acquire Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. That is streaming right now. Big news this morning. Breaking the news. We are going to go to our CNBC roundtable, and we have some audio of this breaking story.
This is some big news that's coming out right now. It looks like Microsoft is going to be buying Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard shares have been halted with this news pending that's coming out on this.
The big question that I'm looking at right now is just whether regulators will ultimately approve a transaction like this, under the sort of traditional antitrust theory. Meanwhile, Microsoft has remained largely outside of the sort of target of Washington, in large part because it dealt with that, if you will,
a metaverse,
more than 2 decades ago.
Number one, is it a metaverse play? I don't know.
Yeah.
We're all going to be playing
huge
around.
metaverse play. I think, and that's
Satya
I think
Nadella
from
has
a
kind of
strategic
hinted at this.
But
Yeah, Satya Nadella has hinted at this.
Yeah, all right. Satya Nadella says the deal will play a key role in development of the metaverse platform. So Microsoft and Facebook are doing metaverse now.
That's the new buzzword. This is just a competition between all these guys now. They always get into these competitions with each other.
They do. All right. But Microsoft is
metaverse everything.
That's right. That's the new buzzword, right?
Yeah.
Like low-hanging fruit. You ever go to those meetings where you have the consultant guy come on in there and we're going to hit the low-hanging fruit. We're going to do this. We're going to do all those buzzwords.
He's got all the buzzwords going on like...
I used to work at a company, and anytime they do a buzzword, we would just start counting them.
Drinking.
Yeah, we'd start just counting them up.
Some
little whiskey game. That's right.
That's right.
All right, so Microsoft's going to acquire Activision, the troubled publisher with Call of Duty, which has been struggling, World of Warcraft, probably their biggest title of all time, and Diablo. The deal will value Activision at $68.7 billion, far less in the excess of the $26 billion Microsoft paid to acquire LinkedIn. And they've done a pretty good job with LinkedIn, to be honest, on their acquisition of that in 2016. So I got some positive. I think Microsoft can maybe pull this off. Activision has great brand.
Well, is it really up to them?
Well, Microsoft's main leader is going to be taking over, and their Activision CEO is going to only be here during the temporary process, and then he will take down. So essentially, the Microsoft's CEO and gaming, Phil Spencer, will be in charge of Activision Blizzard's category moving forward. Now, the key thing about this is Xbox Game Pass, which now has more than 25 million subscribers as the Microsoft continues to acquire studios to boost the subscription service. Now, I have Xbox Game Pass. Do you have Xbox Game Pass?
Not right now.
You don't right now?
No, I got rid of all my subscription services prior to getting married.
Okay. Was that a little marriage thing?
That was, yeah.
Marriage. Okay, so you know what? Thank goodness I've been married.
I have student loan debts to take care of.
Okay, I've been married for 28, 29, 30, who knows how many years. I'll get in trouble. You're going
to get in trouble for that.
I will. I'll wait for my wife to text me exactly what it is. Ding, ding, ding. All right, so it's 28 years, but essentially I have the Microsoft Game Pass, and so do my boys, and we play lots of games there, and they have some first-rate titles that you can just download with that Game Pass and never even have to purchase it.
Oh, I know.
It's subscription services.
Yep. I don't have that much time to play games anymore.
Okay, all right. Microsoft deal comes after months of sexual harassment claims against Activision Blizzard. We talked about this last year. The company reached an $18 million settlement on the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission in September. The settlement is being appealed, but the reports indicate that nearly 50 Activision Blizzard employees have reportedly exited the company since last July. Microsoft's huge Activision Blizzard deal comes nearly a year after the company acquired Bethesda for $7.5 billion at a time with acquisition bolstering the company's first-party X Games studio for a total of 23 major studios that they have. Now, the key here is if this actually happens, it will move Microsoft into the third position for games behind Sony.
Who's the first?
So it is interactive entertainment. So I guess it's like
IA?
Yeah, I guess it's a whole bunch of
EA Sports.
No, it's not EA
not
Sports.
that.
No, it's a whole bunch of mobile games, Japan mobile
that's
games.
right.
So it's really a studio over in Japan based that is a bunch of mobile games that we try to do every once in a while, maybe on a Switch or something, but doesn't have it. Sony is the well, they're not even American, they're Japanese based company, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are the number 2 biggest thing. This will now move Microsoft into 3. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's kind of cool.
I think Microsoft
guess,
does. I think
think
Microsoft does a good job of keeping the studios pretty separate too, so they can work on their IP. Really
well, I hope so, because as they mentioned in the introduction here, they have run afoul of antitrust things before. And
They have.
I believe you were.
I was
around
employed during the time
when
that
they
yep.
were into that mess.
I was, and so hopefully they can make sure that this doesn't get locked up.
So,
all right,
we'll see.
I think Mike. I think you got story number 2 here. Here's a great story. All right, story number 2. You're up.
Yeah, Twitter expands feature allowing users to flag misleading tweets.
Misleading tweets? Who would ever send out a misleading tweet?
I have no idea who would do that.
Twitter
Inc. said on Monday it will expand its test feature, which allows users to flag misleading content on its social media platform in Brazil, Spain, and the Philippines.
Okay.
The company had introduced the pilot test of the feature in August of last year as part of its effort to reduce misinformation on its platform. Since it was first announced, Twitter said it has received around 3 million reports from users who will have used it to flag tweets which they believe are in violation of its policies.
All right. So it's kind of like
basically tattle on each other.
A tattletale?
Yeah.
So if I don't like what you say, or if I think it could be mistruth, then I can just tag it, and then maybe you get yelled at by Twitter cop?
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Dorsey.
So YouTube is taking off dislikes from their platform, and Twitter is adding them.
That's so now you can tattle on people. That's right.
Tattle. So the social media giant last year launched another program called Birdwatch, which lets participants write notes and provide additional context to misleading tweets. Though these notes are held on a separate website.
Yeah,
so
it's not
we'll see how that plays out in the big forum.
All right, that's great. All right, story number 3. Russia fines Google for not deleting banned content.
Yeah, I love this.
So this is interesting. Moscow and Russia is going to be all over our items today. A Moscow court on Monday said that it had ordered Alphabet's Google to pay 4 million rubles.
Yeah, how much is that in dollars?
50,000 plus, right? 50,000 plus for not removing access to the content banned in Russia. The latest of strings of fines from the U.S. tech giant that Russia has assessed on.
That sounds like a grease bomb.
Yeah, I know. Russia's upped the ante last year in its efforts to increase pressure on big tech, handling massive revenue-based fines to Google and Meta platforms for repeatedly failing to remove content Moscow deems illegal. So if Moscow says it's illegal, it's just like China too, right? I mean, so you just
all these countries have their own ideas of what should and should not be
news
on the internet.
That's right. Whatever news is, it better not be negative. All right. Google declined to comment. I probably wouldn't either for $50,000.
Well, this is kind of an interesting situation, right?
Yep.
So it's $52,000 US.
Yep.
What is that? That's like nothing.
That's like chump change for
that's
Google,
chump
right?
change.
That's probably like 1 hour of advertising, just in the Pacific Northwest.
So is it really about taking this stuff off the platform, or just giving them an access fee?
I think they're just trying. I think they're going to use this so they can subsidize whatever thing they needed to do. Maybe they wanted to go golfing on the course and take a private helicopter. All right.
I don't think it's really going to hurt Google that much.
No, the TASS news agency reported that Google has been fined on other instances for providing access to links in banned websites, and sometimes they pay and sometimes they don't. Well, Mike, our time is up. We got through our top stories. If you want to learn more about these, please visit us online at www.techtimeradio.com and click on our episode section or the blog, or get even more details for stories and features. Now it's time to get ready for our whiskey tasting at the break. But up next, we have our Technology Insider segment with a story about how artificial intelligence is taking over both voice replication and can it distinguish brush strokes from different artists. We're going to be talking all about AI. Very interesting. So they got AI that's going to come on out that now can essentially take our vocal cord synapses of how we speak and then translate it and come up with their own words and create our own dialect. And then second of all, we're going to have these artists that are going to tell us about how they can actually have AI take a look at the brush strokes and see if it was a legitimate or a copied artificial art.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. All right. Well, okay. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll see you guys right after this. This is Nathan Mumm and Mike Roday from Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what?
I got a secret to tell you. Tech Time Radio is moving to Kixie AM 880 on Tuesday, January 11th from 3 to 4 p.m.
No way.
Yes. We are moving the Tech Time Radio show that has blown up on KKNW 1150, and we're now moving it over to Kixie.
Do I have to keep the secret?
No. We need to tell everybody about it so they can see the explosion January 11th of Tech Time Radio from 3 to 4 p.m. Hey, Mike.
What's up?
Hey, with 2022 coming along, guess what? We got some news to announce.
What are we going to announce?
Well, we are announcing that we are going to be continuing to broaden our show, and we're moving to Kixie 880.
880 AM KIXI?
Starting January 11th. We are going to be on Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. But don't you fear, because everybody at KKNW will still continue to have our show broadcasting on Saturdays for the 2 hours. And, of course, our replay options on Thursday morning.
Awesome.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost. You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on Tech Time Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We just had our first whiskey tasting on our whiskey review, Mike, during the break. We got to sample our whiskey and our pick of the day during the show. Today we have chosen the First Call Kentucky Straight Bourbon. All right. This is 90 proof, $22.99 for a 750 milliliter bottle. We got it displayed here on our live stream. You can take a look at it.
It's covered by our logo right now.
What's that? It's covered by our logo right now?
Covered by our logo right now.
Oh, that's we'll get the overlays taken care of. All right, so the First Call Kentucky Straight Bourbon and Rye Whiskey were crafted in homage to America's original sport, thoroughbred racing. The Kentucky's iconic role in development as far back as early 18th century, before the introduction of our thoroughbreds to North America, inspired spectators and racers that recognized the first call, or the call to the post, signaling it's time to get off to the races. This is a butterscotch taste from the nose coming off the glass. It has a little bit of vanilla. It's got a little bit of brown sugar backing it up, and it's very light on the nose due to its young age. So it is made from First Call IJW Whiskey Company, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. It's the IJW Whiskey Company, and this is their classification of straight bourbon whiskey, only available from online Wines and More is the only place that you can actually get this, and we're going to talk about why that's the place.
Okay.
But that's where I got it. What's your taste so far of it? I actually liked it.
I'm liking it so far. It's got a very nice balance to it.
A little burned.
A little bit of a burn. Made my lips tingle.
But not too much, right? I mean,
it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. All right, well that's good. Well,
it's got a good spicy taste.
We'll see how it does after
taste the oak.
our second and third tasting. All right, so all right, let's get back to the show. Today we're going to be talking all about the world of AI. We're going to be talking about two different ways that AI is making a difference in our world. We have this special, so let's begin our segment now.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
All right, how's artificial intelligence shaping our intelligence? How's woo, a little bit of that whiskey.
Maybe I need to cure your pronunciation.
That's right. How's artificial intelligence shaping our world? Let's take a look at the world of AI. Using artificial intelligence to digitally replicate human voices. The science behind making machine talks just like humans is very complex because our speech patterns are so complicated.
Yes, they are.
It's kind of like a fingerprint. No one is exactly the same.
That's true. And they are affected by anything from emotional responses to different times of the day.
Yeah, and dialect and different tongues and speech patterns all are very complicated. So we're going to go to one of the smartest companies in the world, and that is a company that is based out of San Francisco Bay Area. And they have essentially come up with a synthetic process called speech morphin, and they are the leaders in creating a clone or digital double of your voice with exactly 10 to 15 minutes of a recording of your basic build, according to speech morphing founder and CEO Fadi Yassa. Yassa said the company chooses utterance that will produce a wide enough variety of sounds to across the range of emotions, including apologetic, enthusiastic, and angry, and so on, to feed a natural-based AI in this training system. It essentially teaches itself the specific patterns of a person's speech. Yassa said that there are 20 effects and tones to choose from, and some of these can be interchangeable and some not at all. Not every tone or inflection is needed for every client. He says the choice depends on the target's application and use case. Banking what's that?
What do we really need this for?
Well, we're going to talk about that. So banking is different from ebooks, and ebooks is different from reporting and broadcasting. Each of these are different consumers that essentially use the same technology. The fast-growing industry, the global speech and voice recognition industry, is worth tens of billions of dollars and is one of the fastest growing in the nation. It uses the technology given for specific actor Val Kilmer, who lost his voice to throat cancer, to essentially be empowered to have his former vocal cords used for a complete movie.
Okay, well, that's good for him.
So, yeah, so it enables film directors, audiobook creators, and game designers to develop characters without the need of live voice acting talent on hand. So we can replace people's job.
That's bad for voice actors.
It is. Even a cloned version of Barack Obama's voice, warning people about the dangers of fake news created by actor and film director Jordan Peele, hammers the point home.
Which is very disturbing.
It is. Sometimes we have to be caused to worry because these machines sound too much like us.
Yeah, the problem is we did a story not too long ago about how somebody used voice cloning technology to steal a bunch of money from
a bank.
It was a bank.
Yep. And they essentially called in on the phone.
Right. They called in on the phone and used this technology to clone the bank. Was it the bank manager?
Yep.
Make bank manager's
approvals
voice to approve some transfers, and they got money. So this is the interesting thing about this, right? Everything that technology develops, there's this dark side to it that we don't know if it's really appropriate to use to develop.
Yeah, so I mean, this is so good. So I mean, the Barack Obama video that Jordan Peele has, you can just go and Google it, YouTube it, Jordan Peele. It's probably not safe for work. There's some profanities and some different items that are in there, but it was amazing to see how they had very little dialect, and they actually explain a little bit on the process there. And how you can actually clone somebody's voice, and it really sounded like it was.
Well, it did,
Barack
but
Obama
there's still that uncanny valley quality to it, where you can kind of detect something wrong, which at this point I think is a great thing.
You know what? It's gonna be tough to clone an AI after me.
Well,
because you're gonna have to every once in a while just mispronounce a word that's in the basic
I don't know
English.
that you could. I don't think you could be cloned.
I don't think
there's so many different weird
words that I come up with sometimes reading stuff off paper. Yeah. So like that would be a telltale sign that it wasn't Nathan Mumm actually speaking.
But as this stuff develops more, that uncanny valley is going to get smaller. That's the problem. And then what is this going to be used for outside of what people
the entertainment purpose? So right now we use it in the entertainment business.
People are
right?
saying that it's mostly built for entertainment, but there's, like we've reported, there's people that are using this for other nefarious purposes.
There are.
And this is the problem with how we interact with technology is that there's always this problematic piece that seems to me I'm always talking about the problematic pieces.
That's because
I'm the human behavior guy.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so let's talk about something a little bit nicer. How AI tech can now distinguish brush strokes of different artists. Researchers using 3D scanning and AI are now able to identify artists from tiny samples of their paintings. The new artificial AI tool may be able to foil fraud and help art historians determine the original creators behind particular paintings. The system analyzed tiny sections of the painting, some as small as 0.5 millimeter, for telltale differences in brushwork. Reports from Benjamin Sutton from the Art newspaper. While previous projects used a form of machine learning to identify artists based on the analysis of high-resolution imaging of the paintings, the new system uses topographical scans of the canvases. We broke the painting down into virtual patches ranging from 0.5 millimeter to a few centimeter squares so that we no longer have to have the information about the subject matter, says Michael Heinz-Whiskey, another case Western psychologist and co-author of the study. What?
Heinz-Whiskey. You pronounced it. You pronounced it wrong, even though you had a thing there. Heinz-Whiskey.
Heinz-Whiskey. That's Heinz-Whiskey. All right. In a statement, but we can accurately predict who painted it from an individual patch, and that's amazing. So essentially what the study does is it takes that 0.5 millimeter to a few centimeter squares. It looks at the brush stroke, how it was done originally, what type of acrylic paint it's using, what type of stroke it was from the brush itself, and as if you touch that up.
So are we talking about classical artists or new artists here?
It does both.
So here's the problem that maybe it's not a problem, I don't know, but the question that first came to mind is I took some art classes in college and stuff, and one of the things that classical artists did and other artists do is that they develop techniques, and just like people improving their golf swing or changing their golf swing, they change their brush strokes over time, so they evolve into different.
Well, I think what they do is the idea of this is to look at the paint strokes that begin the painting throughout the painting. So sometimes you go and you can have art that gets touched up by individuals, right? And so sometimes you don't have the same exact length of the brush. You may not have the same exact horsehair that you're using. You may not have the same exact process that you're using, but normally painting by painting, unless you do it over a long time, should be the same type of stroke and patterns and paint and processes.
Now, overall,
you're using.
I'm thinking that this is a pretty good use of technology, especially when you consider that there are a lot of fraud going on in the art world.
That's correct.
If I pick up a Van Gogh and I take it to somebody and they appraise it and say, "Oh yeah, this is original," how do I know?
Now they'll be able to take a look at the actual AI for the brush strokes itself. So the AI is trying to distinguish the original portions of paintings and the ability for historians to actually correct certain times over the eras.
It would be really terrible to find out that all these things hanging in the Louvre are all fake.
Or all fake. They look at it.
This AI went in there. Nope, that's not them.
That would be pretty tough.
Nope, that's not them.
This artwork isn't legit. This isn't legit. And then you got something in somebody's downstairs basement next to the poker playing dogs.
Yeah,
and you
we
got
also
the
know that a lot of the things that we see in museums are replicas of what are actually not on view for the public.
Correct.
So
like you go and take a look at the Constitution of Independence.
Let's go take this AI and just go walk around the museum and see what it. We might confuse the crap out of it.
The Q sign coming up, fake. We were like at the Art Institute, and we're like, none of this is original. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, you got some lithograph paintings that you redid yourselves. Okay, well, we're at the point of figuring out the basics and the concepts with the technology that's available now to authenticate works of art with the AI technology. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we're going to have This Week in Technology. I'm Nathan Mumm with TechTime Radio, along with Microday, our human lie detector. That's what I call you, right? Our human lie detector, the Lie to Me guy. The Lie to Me show. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll see you guys right after this break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, do you ever feel tired, have a headache, or maybe a little bit under dehydrated?
Yeah, I get told that I need to hydrate more often.
Guess what, Mike? I have a solution for you.
What is it?
Hydronic Hydration. The electrolyte power drink packets are available for you now. Started in the midst of the pandemic, the founder of Hydronic Hydration, a frontline healthcare worker, started developing constant headaches. Do you know that most powdered drinks on the market have tons of sugar and caffeine, especially those Rockstar and Gatorade substitutes?
Yeah, like you drink.
So I'm going to need to change.
So what did the founder do?
Well, that's why he created Hydronic Hydration, sugar-free, keto-friendly, plant-based, antioxidant-rich, electrolyte powdered packets for daily use, containing all the essential vitamins and minerals with a refreshing taste. Their product contains elderberry, which has immune-boosting properties for supporting during cold and flu season. Hydronic Hydration electrolyte powder packets can also fit in your bag or suitcase when traveling. Your busy days in 2022 can change. Do you want a sugar-free, keto-friendly vitamin drink to give you hydration boosts? If so, give Hydronic Hydration a try. You can visit the website at www.hydronichydration. It's www.hydronique hydration.com. That's the word hydration and unique mashed together. Or you can search for Hydronic Hydration on Amazon.com or on their own website at hydronichydration.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we have January 17th, 1984, the Supreme Court ruling on home VCR recordings. Remember the VCR?
I'm older than you are.
Okay, well, so remember the VCR, right?
I was around when the Betamax was
So it's beta, yeah, beta was way better than the VHS.
I know,
but VHS took off more.
That's what you call marketing.
That's what you call marketing and the mass production.
And it's always the funny thing is the $50 million fine or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah,
remember that big red splash screen?
Oh, you got to come on FBI warning when you come out to your
FBI warning.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that private use of home VCRs to tape TV programs for later viewing does not violate federal copyright laws.
That's good. We all be in trouble then.
I know. I remember taping Star Trek: The Next Generation. And let me just tell you, if my VCR did not work right, and I would come home because we were always doing something when Star Trek was on, and you missed it, either the power went off and it started going back to 12 o'clock instead of the time that was on there.
Did you program your VCR?
Oh, yeah.
You're the geek that programmed.
Oh, yeah. I had it all programmed so it was ready to go. Or if the tape got eaten or if it ran out and I missed that Star Trek: The Next Generation episode, oh, my word. In the Mumm household, it was not a very good day.
For streaming services
and
now.
DVR.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. All right. Well, the ruling opened the floodgates for VCR sales, changing the landscape of TV watching forever, and made people change their movies. Like when E.T. came out, Back to the Future came out, they all came out with theatrical releases that you could then sometimes purchase on Laserdisc. Or you could tape off the television show and they'd re-edit like swear words, a couple scenes. And then you'd have a voiceover all of a sudden. Doc's looking at his watches and instead of saying the D word, it'd be like, darn it. It was some other voiceover load type of deal.
Is that your impression of Doc?
No, that would have been as good as the voiceover at that time. All right, well, that takes us
Maybe
through.
you need a voice clone.
I didn't need a voice clone. All right. When we come on back, we're going to take a look from our Protect Yourself Today. I'm Nathan Mumm, the technology expert, along with Mike Raday, our human solution experts, and Odie, our engineer. You're listening to the show that makes you go, We'll see you after this commercial break. Hey, Mike.
What's up?
Hey, with 2022 coming along, guess what? We got some news to announce.
What are we going to announce?
Well, we are announcing that we are going to be continuing to broaden our show, and we're moving to Kixie 880
AM KIXI
starting January 11th. We are going to be on Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. But don't you fear, because everybody at KKNW will still continue to have our show broadcasting on Saturdays for the 2 hours, and of course our replay options on Thursday morning.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, do you ever feel tired, have a headache, or maybe a little bit under dehydrated?
Yeah, I get told that I need to hydrate more often.
Guess what, Mike? I have a solution for you.
What is it?
Hydronic Hydration. The electrolyte power drink packets are available for you now. Started in the midst of the pandemic, the founder of Hydronic Hydration, a frontline healthcare worker, started developing constant headaches. Do you know that most powdered drinks on the market have tons of sugar and caffeine, especially those Rockstar and Gatorade substitutes?
Yeah, like you drink.
So I'm going to need to change.
So what did the founder do?
Well, that's why he created Hydronic Hydration, sugar-free, keto-friendly, plant-based, antioxidant-rich electrolyte powdered packets for daily use, containing all the essential vitamins and minerals with a refreshing taste. Their product contains elderberry, which has immune-boosting properties for supporting during cold and flu season. Hydronic Hydration electrolyte powder packets can also fit in your bag or suitcase when traveling. Your busy days in 2022 can change. Do you want a sugar-free, keto-friendly vitamin drink to give you hydration boosts? If so, give Hydronic Hydration a try. You can visit the website at www.hydronichydration. It's www.hydronique hydration.com. That's the word hydration and unique mashed together. Or you can search for Hydronic Hydration on Amazon.com or on their own website at hydronichehydration.com. All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. I'm your host and the technology expert. We have our human solution consultant, my Lie to Me expert, Mike Corday, here on the side.
I don't know why you keep calling me that.
I called you that when we first started the show. Remember that?
That is true.
So we're going back. We've got some new listeners, so we just want to know you. If you ever watched that show, Lie to Me, there was that little twitches and those little things.
Oh, yeah. I studied all that.
You studied all that?
I have a forensic psychology degree, and I studied that as a side gig while I was studying for my degree. And so I learned all about facial expressions. And Lie to Me is one of my favorite shows.
So. Yeah, I like that show. That dude, he used to always twitch a little bit. He was fantastic. That actor. Yeah. All right, well, we have our pick of the day. We had our first call, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Now let's talk a little bit about the IG Whiskey Company, a privately owned whiskey company whose ownership is not disclosed, but is based in Kentucky. The business doesn't have a distillery and doesn't seem to plan one or build one soon. Instead, they decide to source whiskey from other distilleries and lay down the first barrels of spirits for aging since they have in Danville, Kentucky, based warehouse in 2016. So this whiskey does not even come from a real whiskey house. But
I want to know who the undisclosed company is.
Well, you don't know. It doesn't say what the age is. First Call is reportedly a brand that is unique to Total Wine chain stores, as we talked about. And you know what? I may actually go buy some more. I actually enjoyed it so far. It's been trending towards a thumbs up for me. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you enjoying it?
Oh, yeah. I finished mine already.
All right. You have finished yours. We still have one more segment.
That last taste was really good.
All right. Okay. Let's now get ready.
I'm not gonna spoil my thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay, don't do that because we have to do that at the end of the show. All right, our next segment deals with information about security breaches, hacks, and criminal takeovers of technology. As Mike calls this is the
drinking section.
The drinking section and segment of the story. Let's get ready to start right now.
Protect yourself today.
All right, let's talk about the big volcano that's happened. Have you heard that there was a volcano that went off?
Yeah, we had a tsunami warning all along the West Coast today.
We did.
This weekend.
It kept on buzzing and going. Essentially, this is on Tonga, and it essentially has crippled their communication pipe. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
We talked about these lines of communication.
They're drudged underneath the ocean, and what has happened is 20% of cybercrime since the volcano activity happened has dissipated. So did all of that cybercrime come out of
is that meaning
the Pacific Island nations?
Yeah.
Those are very high. Those are very high.
Or is it the way they route the information across?
Well, see, the Pacific Islands are normally a hub and a VPN hub for people to actually use to have servers based on the Pacific Islands because their regulations are very relaxed compared to other countries. And
it's the Pacific Islands.
Correct. So essentially cybercrime went down. Now, it's really sad because there are people that aren't being able to have the internet service available and communications with phone lines and terrestrial lines that drudge across. So it's not a joking matter, but it is interesting that criminal activity has gone down with that pipe that's no longer being accessed across the ocean.
Do we know if the volcanic eruption severed that pipe or just disrupted it from other means?
Well, essentially, there's a huge ash cloud on the island, right? And so the assumption has been that the cable connecting the islands and the rest of the world has been severed.
Okay.
So they haven't gone down and verified it yet, but that is the expectation.
I don't think they probably can verify it quite yet.
Well, you know what's happening? Australia and New Zealand are sending military flights out to take a look and see if they can restore the pipe.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Restore the cybercrime.
Or is it that Russia has taken down the REvil hacking group to lead us to less cybercriminal activity?
Have they?
Well, let's take a look. Russia has dismantled, quote unquote, ransomware crime group REvil at the request of the United States in an operation in which is detained in charge of the group members. The FSBA Domestic Intelligence Service said on Friday the arrests were a rare demonstration by the U.S.-Russian collaboration at the time for high tension between the two over Ukraine.
Yeah.
So Russia's going to go invade Ukraine.
We have this political thing going on. Right?
Yep.
But
so Russia
we always have relations with other countries.
Yes. So Russia decided to give an olive branch to America. The REvil group that essentially shut down our pipelines for oil, has disrupted many different MSP works.
You mean the REvil group that retired after that?
Yeah. Well, and then we came back again.
Came back again with all new.
Yes.
Under new management.
Yeah, so the announcement came as Ukraine was responding to a massive cyber attack also and shut down government websites throughout. So there's no indication that the incidents were related. Well, the United States welcomes the arrest, according to a senior administrative official. We understand that one of the individuals who was arrested today was responsible for the attack on the Colonial Pipeline last spring. A May cyber attack of the Colonial Pipeline led to a widespread shortage for the U.S. East Coast using encryption software called DarkSide, which was developed by REvil's associates. The police and FSB operations searched 25 addresses, detaining 14 people. The FSB said listening assists that were used included items on site of 426 million rubles, which is $600,000, and $500,000 in euros, computer equipment, and 20 luxury cars. Russia told Washington directly the moves against the group said that they are taking it seriously, but the U.S. Embassy in Moscow said it could not immediately provide a comment. The investigation measures were based on the request from the United States, the FSB said, and the Organizational Criminal Association was ceased and to exist and will no longer be a part of the area. So we'll see. That means they're no longer in Russia. The REN TV channel aired footage of agents raiding homes and arresting people, pinning them to the floor and seizing large piles of dollars and Russian rubles. The group members have been charged and will face up to 7 years in Russian prison.
7 years in a Russian prison.
A source familiar with the case told Interfax the group's members that Russian citizenship would not be handed over to the United States. John Shire, a threat research at the UK-based Sophos, which is a great company. Sophos is phenomenal. Security company is quoted saying that there is no independent confirmation that the self-identified leaders of the defunct group have been arrested. Their website continues to be a part of operation as we speak.
Yeah, well, what was that? I saw something.
I think our new assistant said we got 5 minutes. Let's get going. All right. Well, that ends our segment. Next, we have Stories You Don't Know and Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, brought to us by Story Coffee, along with Pick of the Day. We'll see you right after this break. Thank you for listening to Tech Time.
Hey, babe, I hear that you can download a new voice on Siri.
No way.
Yes, it's true. It's a voice that goes, hey, you big hunk. What do you want to do and where do you want to go?
Stop it.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm kidding.
What has tech ever done for our relationships?
We can't talk about that on the radio.
If you want to eavesdrop on juicy conversations that no one is having around all things love, sex, and relationships, join us right here, 1 p.m. on KKNW and wherever you get your podcast.
We look forward to seeing you in the Love Shack.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon The Bookpository, and more.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com. All right, let me ask you a question.
What?
So Russia says that they're going to send these people to prison.
Yeah.
So what is the psychology based on them making a large announcement that they arrested people, which a lot of people don't think really truly happened? Why do people even go about doing that as countries to other countries? What's the gain from that?
Well, it's comforting.
Okay.
If it doesn't matter, we talk a lot about image engineering, or I talk a lot about image engineering. So
Okay.
we're engineering images daily. Like you go out, you it's like me. I'm dressed up. This
Yeah, you
is
look
an
very
image.
nice.
This
Very
is
nice.
an image engineer. You're doing it too. We're all doing it. So,
I'm doing a little less though.
so-
I dressed down a little bit.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
You're kind of that guy.
Okay.
But we have these things going on with the Ukraine, and I don't know all the stuff that's going on. I don't really follow the news. I try to stay away from it. But it creates tension.
Okay.
And now we have this thing that says, "Oh, we're collaborating with the U.S. We're buddies. We're going to do this for you."
Okay.
Right? So they make this show of invading people's homes, arresting people, saying they got these guys that were responsible for this. Who knows? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
Sure.
But it gives a level of comfort to other folks.
For other foreign companies.
And
So you think United States?
It can
but
deflate.
United States knows it may
deflates
not
a lot-
actually happen though.
It may not, but it deflates tension, especially tension that's built up by the media.
Okay.
So
it's more of a media play.
yeah, it could be a straight up media play.
Okay.
It could be real. Nobody really is going to know except for the parties involved.
Correct.
For us, it depends on what your point of view is.
I don't think they got captured at all. My point of view
You
is
think they went out and
I think it was
and
all
did-
for show. And I think they got their
just,
hands slapped.
They just walked down the street and just arrested random people.
Well, no, I think they probably actually had the right people. They slapped their hands, said, "Hey, don't do this anymore." But now we're going to have you have a whole new name. Don't be Revel anymore. We don't want you to do that. Here you go. We'll give you half your cars back.
There's all kinds of, and we can construct theory after theory, but from a psychology standpoint, we can look at this as sort of a tension deflator.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Well, I think we're going to now move on to our. You know what? We did not have time, and we're gonna have to have this as an added part on TechTime Radio. You're gonna have to go all of the stuff things you didn't know, because we had stuff about asteroids, we had stuff about other stuff. That'll be on our TechTimeRadio.com website, so you can go and get all that information in a special deal that we have.
Asteroids was a cool game.
Asteroids was a cool game. So, all right, so now we're gonna get ready to move into our pick of the day. Let's move into that next.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right. We have our first call, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Rye Whiskey, crafted into America's thoroughbred racing Kentucky iconic items. This is essentially our pick of the day.
Yeah.
And what did you think? Are you going to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. It's not my favorite.
Okay.
But it's a pretty good go-to, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
All right. Well, I am absolutely going to give it a thumbs up also. I thought it was very good. I enjoy cheap whiskey, so if I can buy a whiskey that's under $50 and I can enjoy it on my back porch, looking at the beautiful sunset go down, that is a whiskey that
is what you?
Perfect.
I don't see you doing that.
No, I don't.
I see you slugging it behind the chicken coop
in the middle of the day, because in the middle of the night I'm still editing video and doing a bunch of other stuff. But we're excited.
Playing video games.
That's right. We're excited for you guys joining us. Again, you missed the 55.55 carat diamond that you can take a look at online.
We didn't get to talk about the black diamond.
Yeah, from outer space.
The foldable PC
and
laptop,
and the foldable laptop from Samsung. So we'll have to talk about that, or you can find out more information about it on our website. Well, I am Nathan Mumm. Thank you so much for joining TechTime Radio. It is your weekly show to help you learn about technology news. We got Microday here, our solutions expert. We had some great sponsors. And the most important thing is remember that we will be back on 3 to 4 p.m. next Tuesday. From all of us, remember, the science of tomorrow starts with technology of today.
Thanks for joining
Bye-bye.
us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.